Hello everyone, my name's Cliff and welcome back to my channel. This is Cliff's Dark Gems. Today we're going to be doing a reading update of the Cryptid Readathon for November, and I'm going to be giving some channel announcements, so stay tuned. Okay everyone, first of all just a few things. I really wish that all of you from America, all my American friends and subscribers had a wonderful Thanksgiving yesterday and you had a really wonderful time with family and friends. So yeah, I hope it was a good one. Second of all, I've got an early birthday present. Well, it's about 10 days early, but it's a circle light, a ring light, circle light. And this is great because now I can experiment with filming in the evening as well, which is a good thing because now with our power outlet, with load shedding, we're off for about 8 hours a day, which is very chaotic, and so it's nice to have that flexibility of when you can actually film, and that's great. And next thing I want to talk about is, let's just have a look here. Oh yes, I've got a live stream on Sunday with Bad from Bad is Rad, where we're going to do a book review of The Black Farm, which is an extreme novel, and we're just going to talk about extreme horror in general. So it'd be great if you guys could join us there as well. It should be a lot of fun, and it's the first live stream that I'm hosting, so I kind of hope that everything goes right. Okay, before we begin with the books, with the Cryptid Readathon, I just want to remind everyone the hosts are Jason from Jason's Weird Reads, Sin from Sin's Book Nook, as well as Crystal at Fiberarty, and I'm going to link their awesome channels down below. Oh, and I forgot, I'm still doing the Read What You Own challenge, and as you can see on the side here, I hope you can see it, that I'm on book number 12 right now, so that's great. 12 out of 100 books. Still got a way to go, but hey, I'm just going to keep going, we're going to keep at it, we're going to get there. Another thing is that I've read a lot of books this month, a lot of shorter novellas, and I'm not going to introduce all of them now. I'm going to talk about them in my wrap-up at the end of the month. This is going to be devoted to the Cryptid Readathon, and I've read some good stuff and some not so good stuff. Okay, so let's go for it. Okay, we're going to start off with a very short novella called There's Something in the Water, an extreme cryptid tale. Now this is, an extreme horror novella. It's about these two men who are fighting over this particular lake. The one already has property there. I think he owns like little bits of cottages for people to come stay in. And the other one wants to develop the land and basically wants this guy to sell the land. And he refuses. They're both very unlikable characters. They're pretty damn hateful. And the one decides to force the hand by basically throwing something, a creature, maybe a cryptid, in the lake, and it's going to cause all sorts of chaos. And that's exactly what happens. Now, this is a fun read. It's a quick read. And it's gory, but it is very light. It's very thin, if you know what I mean. The actual plot and the story and the character development is very poor, and yeah, no, it was good for a read, but I think if this had been made into a longer novel, perhaps it would have been better. I would have cared about the characters a bit more, or about what was going on. But for what it is, it's just a short, quick read with the gory monster in the lake, and that's pretty much all I can say about that. So give it a go. I think there's only other one rating on Goodreads, and that's 4-star. So yeah, you might really enjoy it. I gave it 3-star. Okay, next up we had Below by Laurel Hightower, and I absolutely love this cover, and I heard such good things about this novella that I really wanted to love it. I wanted to enjoy it, and for the first 3 quarters that was the case. But okay, what is it about? It's about this divorced woman who's got all sorts of mental issues regarding her husband, just internal issues. And she's driving over this mountain pass. It's snowed up. And she experiences these bizarre car troubles, electrical troubles. And she turns to a truck driver for help. A total stranger who offers to help her through this mountain pass, I suppose. And then they encounter this creature. I look up on the cover there with glowing red eyes, and the truck driver apparently loses control and goes through this bridge and plummets down into, I don't know if it's a ravine, whatever you want to call it, plummets down below. And she has a choice. Am I going to go and help the stranger, try and see what I can do, or run away or get some other kind of help and see if someone else comes around? She decides to go down below to help the stranger in the truck. Now, the first 3/4 of this novella was 5-star for me. I absolutely loved the first 3/4 of this novella. It is tense, it is thrilling, really sort of gory in some places, puts you on edge, it's unsettling. And it goes to places where it really touches into my sense of claustrophobia with dark places. I don't want to spoil anything, but being trapped in a dark place. And it really was thrilling. And you go from one thing to the other, and this woman's going through a little bit of hell. Then on about the 3/4 mark, or I don't know, maybe the last 20 pages, it just fell flat for me. And I'm sorry, it's not, maybe you will absolutely love the ending. I found it very ambiguous. I found that there were a lot of unanswered questions. Not going to go into any spoilers, but I found this ending completely unsatisfactory for me. But there, as I said, there are a lot of really good reviews on Goodreads, on booktube. People love this novella, and I'm sure you will too. This is just my personal opinion. So yeah, that's Below by Laurel Hightower. And this is not going to actually stop me reading more from her, because her writing is exquisite. I just found the ending and the way she tied things up unsatisfactory. Oh, and if you're wondering why I haven't got my glasses on today, it's because we haven't figured out how to use a ring light properly yet, and there's a bit of a glare from my glasses, so we don't want that, do we? So I'm just talking a little bit blind today. Okay, the last book I'm going to talk about is The Wendyo by Algernon Blackwood. Now, I didn't know what a Wendigo was, so I didn't actually want to look it up until after I read the book. And after I read the book, I found out that it's this creature linked to cannibalism, and this book takes a very unique spin on that. There's nothing to do with that, but it was a 4-star read for me. It was creepy, it was unsettling, and I absolutely loved it. I really, as old as this book is, as old as the story is, I found Blackwood's prose absolutely gorgeous. It takes place in the northern Canada wilderness, the mountains, the forests, and it's absolutely gorgeous. It draws you in to where the setting is. You are there with these men. And it involves these 4 hunters, 2 men and 2 servants, and they go out looking for moose. Yeah, that's what it is, moose. And they can't find any. But they get the sense that this creature is stalking them. And this build-up of tension is just wonderful. And there's this paranoia and real madness. And this doesn't rely on gore and scares and typical kind of horror stuff. This story is very atmospheric. And it really did something to me. And it was a real breath of fresh air after all the nasty, gory stuff that I've read over the last few months. This was just a old-fashioned, just a tale. It's almost a ghostly thing, a haunting almost, not a haunting I wouldn't say, but it was just so well done. And I'm definitely up for, what's the other book by Algernon Blackwood, The Willows. So yeah, I'll talk about that at the end of the month, or the end of next month. But this was a wonderful story. And I think the only reason it's 4 stars and not 5 stars is the language is a little bit dated. And even though I really enjoyed it, it's just not a 5-star read for me. I'm a bit strict about that right now. So that is The Wendigo by Algernon Blackwood. Okay everyone, because my reading is going so well this month, I've decided to add another book to my TBR, especially for this Cryptid Readathon, and that's going to be The Mothman Prophecies by John A. Keel. I don't know a hell of a lot about it. I know that I think the author was sort of discovered as a bit of a fraud maybe. I kind of looked it up. But let's just read the back quickly and see what it's about. A warning, a messenger, an omen. For 13 months, the entire town of Point Pleasant, West Virginia, was gripped by dark terror that culminated in a tragedy that made headlines throughout the world. Homes throughout the little town were plagued with unearthly noises and ghostly manifestations. Winged monsters and frightening apparitions terrified the population. The Mothman, obviously that red thing, the red-eyed thing that I mentioned earlier, still remains an enigmatic figure, a fascinating and compelling mystery, sometimes determined to save lives, sometimes standing by to watch the death of thousands. So this story reads like a novel, but every single word is true, and fully documented by John A. Keel, who spent a year in Point Pleasant, where he saw and experienced many of the strange manifestations personally. Okay, yeah, so it looks interesting. I really should be able to fit this in. If I don't, I'm going to read it first thing next month. So that's The Mothman Prophecies. Okay, and finally, before we go, I could not find any novels or non-fiction stuff on South African cryptids, because one of the prompts was to find cryptids close to where you live. But what I did do is I went online to Wikipedia and I found some very interesting South African cryptids that I want to share with you today. So yeah, first of all we have the Tokolosh. Now these are creatures from Zulu mythology. They are terrifying goblin-like creatures that attack you in your sleep. So people in Zulu culture sleep with beds raised off the floor, because after all, these creatures are very small and they can't reach you and throttle you in your sleep if you are too high up. So this is something interesting about the Tokolosh. Second of all, we have the Groot-slang, a legendary creature that lives in a deep cave in the Richtersveld. Now the Richtersveld is a magnificent desert landscape in the northern Cape of South Africa. And it holds a lot of diamonds. Diamonds are famous thing there in that particular region. Now this creature is a mixture between an elephant and a python, and it guards the cave that is filled with diamonds, apparently. Now, when God created more than one Groot-slang, and by the way, the term Groot-slang means big snake in English. The gods realized they made a mistake, because these creatures were both strong and cunning. So they went about splitting them. But you know what happened? They missed one. Next up, we have the Inkanyamba. Now this is probably the one cryptid that's closest to my hometown. It's found in KwaZulu-Natal, very close to me. And it resembles a giant eel or snake, depending on people's point of view. And it has a horse-like head, so it has an equine head. It is aquatic, so it lives in lakes and waterfalls, and it's over 20 feet long. The creature is often blamed for violent, brutal storms, and in particular one, which thousands lost their homes. Really, if interested in any of these creatures, I encourage you to check them out on Cryptid Wiki online. Finally, we have the lightning bird, the Impumbulu. Accounts of its existence arose from the Pondo, Xhosa or Zulu tribes in South Africa. Only seen by women. This creature is a black and white bird, the size of a human. It can shape-shift into several forms, depending on its prey. It appears as a man to a woman, in order to seduce them and drink their blood. It also has the ability to create storms and lightning. Okay everyone, so that's my video for today. Tell me what you think of those books, if you've read any of them. And also don't forget to tune in on Sunday evening. Well, actually it's evening my time. It's going to be at 4:30 p.m. South African time. And depending where you live in America, it'll probably be early in the morning sometime. So come and join us with a cup of coffee and it should be a lot of fun. If you enjoy my content, please be sure to like and subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. Take care of yourselves. Keep those pages turning and cheers.